Okay, so you need to set up a registration matrix for your monotype or for your intaglio print. So either of those things you're going to need to make sure you set up a monotype registration matrix. And so there's just a couple of things that you need to know about that. The first thing you're going to want to do is get a piece of your frosted mylar that you should have bought in your printmaking kit. You can also buy this stuff independently from like a bookstore, Daniel Smith, Blick, any place like that. And they come in a really big sheet, so you want to cut this into half. So I think this is like 18 by 24 or something like that. And you're going to be working on a 6x9 plate and an 11 by 15 inch piece of paper. So the first thing to know is that this frosted mylar usually comes, and there's different kinds, but it usually comes with like a kind of a more matte side and then a more slippery side. And the side we want to kind of be working on the press bed is the slippery side. But the first thing you want to do is I want you to take this and turn it over so that the more toothy kind of rough side is up, so the more frosted side is up, okay? And I just want you to take your piece of paper and just kind of center that into the center of our piece of mylar here. And if you want, you can even use a ruler, because I mean, hey, why not make things kind of, you know, neat and tidy and all that kind of stuff, right? So I just like to put a little mark with a fine tipped Sharpie, you know, at my 3-inch mark here, and at my 3-inch mark here, just so I know that I've got everything kind of lined up and straight. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put that kind of where it goes, and then I'm just gonna make little marks in the corners where the paper is gonna be placed. So just wanna kind of trace along my paper here and put little marks there for where the edges of the paper are gonna go. This will help us a lot when we go to line stuff up and keep everything straight a little bit later. Sometimes I'll put a mark along here as well, just so I know kind of where the edges of everything are, right? So that's where the paper is gonna go, 11 by 15. And then you can go ahead and just take your piece of paper and set it over here. And then we're gonna take our plate and we're gonna go ahead and line that up in the center as well. So what we'll wanna do with this is we'll wanna go ahead and use the ruler, right? And measure halfway, which is gonna be 7.5 inches here, and 7.5 inches up here. And then you just want to go ahead and draw a straight line that goes past where your piece of paper, the edge of your piece of paper was, right? So we just want to draw a straight line like this. And I like to do this little, you know, thing where I just put an arrow like this that helps me know which way is up. So I know that that's the top. And we want to do the same thing going this way. So this direction, since it's 11, we're going to go 5.5. And this one should be 5.5 as well. Sure hope my math is right on that, or else it will be a little bit embarrassing. But again, I'm going to extend this line past where the edge of the paper is, right? So I should have like crosshairs here. I like to call this the crosshairs registration method. If you played a lot of video games, I'm sure that this will all make sense to you later. And so now we want to go ahead and just mark our 6 by 9 inches for where the plate's going to be. So I'm just going to I have the ruler here at 3, and I'm just going to mark that. So that's 6 inches. I'll do the same thing. Come over here. And then I can just go ahead and draw a straight line. And again, the more precise you can be on your registration matrix, the better this is going to go for you. You're going to be much, much happier if your registration matrix is straight and you've done a good job of you know, paying attention to all these details. So I'm actually going to take my plate here. I'm just going to lay the plate down face down. You always want to make sure it's face down. And I'm going to go ahead and just use the plate to mark this part right here. Then I'll do the same thing this way. I'll find my half of 9 inches, which is 4.5, right? I'm just going to mark that right there, that right there. And then I know where to place my plate in the center of this. And you, again, more precise, the better off you're going to be. So be nitpicky and just make a mark here where the plate goes. Okay, so we now have a completed registration matrix. We know that our paper is going to go, you know, out to here. and our plate's gonna go in the center. So now when you get ready to use this, what this means is that I have my registration matrix drawn on the back part of this. That's the frosty part. I can turn that over. Now I have a slippery, slick surface I can use that I can clean stuff up if I need to. If I drop ink on it, I can fix it. And then I'll put my plate down face up there. And when I'm wiping up my monotype or my intaglio plate, I can line that up and I can put that plate exactly where it goes. And then I can lay the piece of paper down over the top of it where that goes, and everything will be aligned. So we'll talk more about registration marks and things like that when we go to multicolor printing. But for now, you need to make sure you have a registration matrix, whether you're doing multicolor printing or just one run through the press. And again, I call this the crosshairs registration method. There's lots of different kinds of printmaking methods for doing this out there, but this is the one that I like, that keeps things kind of the simplest and most precise.